All right, welcome back, everyone. Lovely to see you all. And let's begin by going straight into the superpower state. So take a deep breath and either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer. And go into your superpower state. However you normally do that. So by using your word or phrase or your anchor, or by homing in on everything you love and appreciate about your subject. Very good. And now start to feel your heart opening, that expansion feeling in your chest. And then imagine that light or energy shining out from your heart. Very good. And allow that light or energy to shine down to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips, so you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Very good. Good job. And now allow that light or energy to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each cell just for existing. Very good. And now allow that light or energy to fill yourself as a child, any age, loving that little you just for existing, no matter what, exactly as they are. Very good. And now allow that light or energy to overflow from you and fill your whole childhood, shining that light into any darkness, filling every person, every event, every circumstance, every experience, shining out from that little you and feeling the power of that, how that little you is able to shine this light into any darkness. Very, very good. And now allow that light or energy to fill everyone who's on the call today, all those who are on camera, all those who are off camera today, loving each one just for existing. And allowing yourself, allowing your heart to open and receive the love from everyone else, loving you exactly as you are, no matter what. Very good. You can open your eyes if you haven't closed, and let's check in with everybody. So, Sue, you're first up on my screen, although I can only see, there you go. I could only see the tip of your fringe. So. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was actually not, I didn't do my kitty today. I just did what was in front of me in the rain and the wind, and I just love it. It just fills my soul.
Fantastic. That's perfect. That's perfect.
And feeling like death. As I was saying, no, I'm being melodramatic there.
Okay. Before we move on to that, I just want to say about the rain and the wind and that, of course, you can use that even when it's not raining outside.
I know.
Remember it. Okay, good.
When I used to have this, well, when I do get really freaked out by the heat, I often will lie down and I will just pretend that it's raining.
Very good. And another trick.
Sometimes I listen to rain audios. Yeah.
Perfect. And you can also watch videos of rain.
Yeah.
Again, because your brain will believe it. Good. Very good.
Actually, it's funny. I get a feeling, it's like my mouth watering kind of feeling on the back of my tongue.
Lovely.
That's
There's obviously a
still.
Yeah,
there is. Yeah, I love it.
It's a good one. All right. So how can I help you today?
Well, I was just talking to Steve about this dilemma. I've just decided that, well, I mean, I'm getting all stumbling over my words, but I really want to make like a success of photography, portrait photography in particular.
Okay.
I have so many, I wouldn't even know what to call them, like projects that come into my head from, it almost feels like from the ethers. And I know that if I had enough self-confidence that I could be able to do something like that. And I have, who was I telling the other day? I was telling somebody the other day about it. Like, I have like mega dreams. And then I go, oh my God, that's never going to happen. You know, dreams of having, my ultimate thing would be to work on a project. I have several in mind. The latest one is actually quite interesting. And what I would like to do is to have a, you know, put it, there's a place not far from here that's like a museum, and they have exhibitions and stuff, and I'd really, really like to have an exhibition. And it's about, you know, it's like, it's something that means something. It's not just pictures, but there'd be photographs, but that are of subjects, and it would have some kind of a meaning that people would make people think, maybe, hopefully.
Very good, very good. So I have two.
But also something for me, you know. It's
yes. So I have two questions. First of all, that sounds fabulous. It sounds like a great idea. So my two questions are: the first one is, what's your reason for wanting to do something like this? And
I've written it all down.
Good. And the second question is, what's stopping you?
That's what I've written down too. So I'm all prepared.
Let's hear it.
So, why? There's a sense of accomplishment. Doing it is rewarding and inspiring and exciting. It's a way of earning money. Okay, if I do exhibitions, not necessarily, but the way of earning money is to do portrait photography. But it must be my way of doing it, not the normal way of doing it. And then I go like, oh God, but then people won't want. But then I think like, well, why do people want that other way? Anyway, and you know, it's like, it's something that comes from inside.
Okay, good. All right.
And so why not? What's holding me back is I don't have confidence yet. And I know I can do it, but there seems to be an issue with the doing. And the last woman I actually, I don't know if you saw those photos of that black girl and her boyfriend. Well, it was mainly about her. Oh, you didn't? I didn't put photos of her boyfriend up. But I noticed her a couple of years ago, and there was something about her energy and just her sort of like the way she stood in herself. And she was a waitress at a place we went to eat. And then earlier, maybe in April or May, I saw her and I just said, I really want to photograph you. And so eventually she came. It was pathetic. I mean, I took okay pictures, nothing like I thought I would take. But I fell apart. I got shaky. My heart was racing. I was sweating, like panic attack almost. And all I wanted was for her to go. I didn't want to do it anymore because it was so and that's happened twice now, because I had one woman who approached me to do pictures for her LinkedIn account, and I did them, and the same thing happened.
That one I remember. Okay, so let's look at that. So as you said,
so that's one of the things. The other thing is the space that I have is crap. But yet, then I know that if I was that driven, I would say I couldn't care about the crappy space. It is crap. I mean, it's cold in the summer and it's flipping hot in the winter. The wind blows the sand and the leaves into the room. Blah, blah.
Okay. All right. Let's look at all of this. So first of all, can you remember that feeling and feel it now when you were in the session with either of those two women and you felt that panicky feeling? Can you remember that?
Yeah, I can, sort of, but it's not, I can't feel it in me now. I can see it out there.
Here's a way of doing this. I've arranged with one of those women or somebody else for a session right after this call. How does that feel?
That I know that's nonsense.
But that's okay. Allow yourself to believe it.
So I feel okay. Oh boy, but my conscious mind says no, that's just never going to happen because it's not.
So
okay, well, let me just. I really have to try and get into this because I really need to blitz this.
Yeah, and just while I want to answer that for others who have the same kind of who may have the same experience is. Remember that you don't sit through a movie going, but it's not real, but it's not real, but it's not real. You allow yourself to get carried away and believe the movie and be in it. So this is the same kind of thing.
Okay. Okay, I'm not really feeling it. I do feel like what I'm doing is I'm thinking, okay, pretend somebody's going to come here to have a photograph taken. She's coming here for an hour.
Yeah, or the other option is just tell me about one of those experiences. What exactly was the problem? How did you, number one, here's something.
Okay.
When did that feeling start? When in the process did that panicky feeling start?
Well, there was doubt before. And
Good.
it's like, sort of like wishing that they weren't going to come because, like.
Good. Okay, so
let's not to do it.
Let's start there. So can you remember the feeling of the doubt and wishing they weren't coming?
Yes.
Good. Very good.
It's outside of me. I don't feel it in me. I want to feel it in me.
Okay, so take a deep breath and invite that feeling into you. And where would it be if it was inside you? Or where do you remember it was from when you experienced it?
In my throat and in my chest and then into my stomach.
Good, good. Okay, so now allow that feeling to be in your throat and your stomach, your chest and your stomach. And what kind of...
if I can't really feel it?
Mm-hmm. Just intend that you're allowing it. And what kind of...
Okay. Constricted.
Constricted, good. Can you feel that constricted feeling now?
Yeah.
Good, very, very good. And now I want you to just allow that constricted feeling to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Good. And what happens as you just allow it to be there with no judgment, no need to change it or make it go away? Just allow it to be there. It's just sensations.
Well, the first thing that comes out is I get like a vision of an octopus.
Good.
Tightening its grip.
Very good. Very good. So allow that.
Stronger.
Allow that octopus to be there. What color is the octopus?
Sort of like an orangey, browny color.
It's one of the orange ones. I thought it might be. Okay, so allow that octopus to be there and allow it to tighten its grip. It's not really there. It's not life-threatening. So just allow it. See what it does. So what happens next as you allow that?
Well, then it was around my throat, but then it didn't tighten anymore. It was just there.
Very good. Now I want you to ask that octopus what it wants or needs. And say whatever's the first thing that comes up.
The first thing that came up was, and that's why I made a face, was because it said my life. And I thought like, oh, I can't do that.
What makes you think you can't do that? Can't do what?
I don't know. It says like, it wants my life.
Your life. Okay. Okay. So what does that mean? It wants your life, that octopus. And you can ask it, what does that mean, if you like? See what comes up, and again, say the first thing that comes up.
You said the first thing that came up, and that's what came up, and then I just, so that's what I went with, and then, I don't know if it was maybe the wrong thing to say.
There's no such
Um,
there's no such thing as the wrong thing to say. So the first thing that comes up, even if it
yeah.
doesn't make sense. So what would that look
Okay, well, now it's like shaking. It's like shaking my shoulders and say, try again, shaking my shoulders
like? Taking your
and
shoulders.
saying, like, get a life.
Very good. Very, very good. Okay. Now let's pause that allowing exercise for a moment. We're going to come back to it. The first thing I want to ask you is, can you remember ever anyone shaking your shoulders? And if you can't, that's okay.
Well, I don't remember it, but I sort of do remember it in a way, my dad doing that. But maybe he wasn't shaking my shoulders, but it felt like he was shaking my shoulders.
Perfect. So your dad, your shoulders, right. Now, let's go back to the octopus.
Oh, God.
What?
Yes, okay. No, just like, like frustration with me, which is exactly how I feel about me.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Very good. So ask this octopus, what one small thing can I do to make you feel better?
Well, the first thing that comes up is just do it.
Good. Okay.
And then when that says just do it, then I go, oh no, I don't think that I can. It's like shrink away, like
Good job.
Just carry on with your life the way it is. Don't get complicated.
Good.
And it's quite interesting because Sebastian's girlfriend's mother said to me when I was talking to her about like this portraiture, she said, oh, why don't you just carry on taking pictures of flowers? And I was like, oh no.
Right. Okay. So that feeling of just do it and you resisting it, allow that to be there.
Okay.
So that feeling of just do it and you're not doing it, that's okay. Just allow that to be there. It's got no meaning to it. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Good. Very, very good. And what happens when you do that?
Well, there's just a sense of emptiness.
Okay. Very good. Good job. Now focus on that emptiness.
Judgment on that emptiness. Yeah.
Okay. So allow that judgment of the emptiness. Just allow that judgment to be there. It's okay. And then what happens?
Yeah, then it's sort of like, okay, then it's just sort of like everything's still the same.
Good. And allow everything to be the same. And what happens then?
Disappointment.
Okay, good, very good. So for everyone else as well, do you see, we're just whatever comes up, we're going to allow it until something shifts or another idea comes or something like that. So allow that disappointment. Just allow it to be there. It's okay. Where in your body do you feel that disappointment?
Oh, my whole body.
The whole
Almost.
body. Very good. So focus on it as a sensation, and you can put your arm on your hand on your leg if you like, to feel the sensation of your hand on your leg. Focus on that, the feeling on your hands, the feeling on your leg. It's just a sensation. So putting your hand on your leg doesn't mean anything. And sensations you're feeling all over your body that you recognize as disappointment, it's also just sensations.
Okay, yeah.
Got that? Good.
Yeah.
Very good, Sue. And now, what happens then?
Sort of, I suppose in some ways, a kind of a surrender.
Good. Very good.
Judgment comes with that too.
Yeah.
It's like you've got to fight.
Yes. Very, very good.
Oh,
And
whoa.
you got that?
Yeah.
Very good. And so can you just allow the surrender? You don't have to fight. You've only been fighting yourself. There's no one else to fight.
I know.
So
Oh, my word.
you and yourself, chill, relax, allow the surrender. Can you do that?
Oh, that's actually quite neat. That's sort of like it's light, like visually in some ways. It's sort of it's almost as though it's like a new dawn
Yes.
kind of feeling.
Good. Fantastic. Now savor that moment. Do you have a song that would play in the background for this particular moment in time?
Well, that was the song. There was that song. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. What is that song? What is that song? And I'm
And
feeling good.
that's it. That's it. There you go. So
Oh, wow. That's such a cool song to. I have to write it down.
good. Yeah,
Oh, I can watch it again, but I like to write it down.
absolutely.
Because when I was really going through a very hard time, I used to just every morning I'd wake up and I'd sing, "Oh, what a beautiful morning."
Yep. Nice. Very good. All right.
New one. Oh,
That's
wow. That's cool.
good. I'm glad. Good job, Sue. And now let's go to so your dad shaking your shoulders or whatever's there as you remember it. Can you access that right now?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay. And any negative emotions with it or nothing?
Um, well, I don't feel anything now. I mean, except sort of like, oh, hectic.
Okay.
That wasn't so nice.
So let's change it now to the opposite, positive and empowering. So instead of shaking your shoulders in that way, what's he
Really
doing?
changing.
It's changing. Good.
He's holding me. He's giving me a hug, and that makes me want to cry.
There you go. Perfect. So now your dad is hugging you.
Wow.
Very, very good. Good job, sweetheart. Excellent job. All right. You got that?
Hmm.
Good. Now I want you to think about what's the first step you would need to take. No, in fact, before we do that, let's think about you're going to have let's think about those two previous sessions where you had the panic attack. And are you able to go there and change it?
I can go there. I would like to change it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So
both people were absolutely thrilled with their photographs. They loved them.
right. Okay. Yeah, because everything else was only in your head. You were just fighting
Yeah.
this just because it was a program. Now, where's the octopus?
It's under a rock somewhere.
Okay. And can you give the octopus a camera in each of its little tentacles and it's taking photographs? Okay.
It actually reminds me of a video I saw where a guy went with his GoPro and the octopus took his GoPro and ended up taking pictures of him. And have you seen it?
No, that sounds brilliant though. All right, very good. Now let's think about, so what's the first step you would need to take in order to reach that dream of yours of having that exhibition? What's the very first step you would need to take for that?
Get it really clear in my head and then start approaching people. It's very controversial in many ways because, can I tell you what it is?
Sure.
And it just came when we were driving back from up the West Coast a week, 2 weeks ago, and it won't leave my head. And I don't know where it came from, but to have old people like in their 70s, couples, and to have them, I want them to be naked from the waist up because I won't take any other pictures of that. And for them to be in some kind of a form of connection or embrace or whatever. And the whole thing with that is acceptance. Acceptance of, like acceptance of self,
Mm-hmm.
even though you're all wrinkly and droopy, acceptance of another person, of the person that you love or whatever, even though they have aged. And
Okay, so let me ask you this. So how do you feel, first of all, about taking that first step today?
It's like, this is going to, I feel like I need to stop now because everybody else is holding people up.
Okay, remember.
I get this feeling, yeah, okay. I get a feeling that I know that I can do it.
Yes.
Technically.
Right. What's stopping you?
Number one, who's going to be, that's also, I mean, that's excuses.
That's
Who
what
the hell is going to want to come and pose for me like that?
So that's what I was looking for. So let's look at that very briefly, because how do you feel about yourself?
Terrible.
Right.
There you go.
That's it.
That's the, yeah.
Because I was going to say, what's your reason for wanting to do this? What's the driver? And it seems that it's trying to heal through doing
something
it with other people,
yeah.
something that disapproves of your own body.
Yeah. And that's why I said in the beginning, it would probably be, well, I don't know if I did say it, but I wanted to say it, it would be like a therapeutic thing in some way, maybe, for me.
But do the therapy.
And it would be saying, yeah, oh, I get it, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think they could be amazing photographs too.
Absolutely. And there are people who would love to do it, but
yeah.
you won't find them. And if you do find them, you won't be able to approach them, or you'll approach them in a way that doesn't quite, get through to them or whatever, because your hesitancy will come through because you don't really yet believe in the project. Because if someone came to you and asked you if you would do this model for those photographs, how would you feel? Would you do it?
I would.
You would do it? Then there's your answer for getting started.
I don't know if I would do it with my husband, because then he wants to get fiddly. So, like that's the kind of person he is, and I can't bear it. But that connection thing, I would do it.
So Sue,
if you could be in that same mindset.
Right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you this little project to do first.
Yes.
Take some photographs of yourself, exactly as you would like. I know you said you don't do it with your husband, but just on your own.
Okay.
The type of photographs you would like to do with others.
Okay.
All right. And then look at them, study them, and notice whatever comes up, and heal that as you go. Make those changes, do the allowing technique, do the changing of any memories that come up, until you are at the point where you would put those photographs in an exhibition.
Yeah.
Then you're ready to reach out, and you won't be able to stop yourself. You'll be excited. It'll come naturally to approach people. I'm getting way goosebumps as I'm saying this. So that's your project. That's your challenge. Okay.
Yeah, because it's not a thing to display any private parts. It's just it's a connection between two people that are old.
Yes.
And in their old age, that they still have that.
How about this to add to it? Because I know you said you don't want to do it with your husband. How about, and I don't know, I'm not a photographer, I don't know, but I know you're brilliant with editing and that. How about with yourself? How about taking those photographs and then doing whatever editing needs to be there, where you are with yourself the way you want these couples to be together? Because that's a whole new level, of course, of meaning to them. How does that sound?
That's an interesting project.
And once you've done it with yourself and you are happy with it and you feel excited and loving towards yourself and the project, what you've done, you know, so yourself in the photograph, the photography work that you've done, the editing, whatever that is, everything else is going to come naturally and automatically. And you'll be excited to do it and all of that, as long as you keep cleaning it up as you go. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. I'm excited for you.
So
Can't wait to hear how it goes.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Odille.
You're very welcome, Sue. Very good. Oh, sorry. I muted you by accident. Sorry, sweetie.
No, I just said I apologize to others if they've got pressing things that they want to discuss.
That's all right. Remember that whoever's speaking at the time, everyone else is gaining from it, is benefiting from it. Everyone who's on the call, everyone who's watching the videos. So all of these processes, each person is contributing. So thank you, Sue, for that. Because that, you know, even people who are not photographers, but, you know, a lot of people have stuff that they want to achieve, they want to do, and they're not doing for whatever reason. They can follow along with this process, aiming at their own stuff as it relates to them. So good job. Thank you. And have fun with it. All right.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And next up on my screen, Tina. Hi, Tina. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm very good, thank you.
Good.
I'm generally okay. Everything is fine. I was going back to that memory. We were doing exercise yesterday on the inner circle seminar.
Yes.
And there was like, I don't know why that memory came to me. I have no idea.
Right.
I asked question, what is going to tell me and all that stuff. And it's just telling me that I judge and I do other stuff. So I don't know what to do with this.
Okay, so let me ask you this first of all. What's wrong with judging?
I don't know. Just I said to Steve, when I judge, I feel amazing. I feel good. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it. So give me an example of a judgment that you've had recently that made you think I shouldn't be judging, or whatever that was.
It's like, you know, like sometimes I see something and I don't like it. It's so ugly and it's like, it's this and that. It's like, it's judgment. So
Good. All right. So now when you say it feels good, in what way does it feel good? What's that good feeling you get when you judge something?
it's like, it's nothing wrong with this, like you said. So it's just me, but I know judging is not good. I shouldn't judge. It's not my job. I don't know.
Well, it depends. So
I don't like ugly stuff. That's the problem. If I don't like something is ugly, I just feel like it's ugly. I will do different. I will change. I will fix. I will, you know.
All right. So now, are these ugly things your own things? Or is it someone else's?
It's other people. If it's mine, I do better. I change. But if it's other people, it's like, it's not my even business. They like it, they want it, they are like that. I cannot change people, but I would like to. You see, that's another thing. It's like,
that's what it is. That's what it is right there. Very, very good. Because what you want to get to is you see something that you think is ugly, that someone else has, and you don't feel anything. It's just, man, they have that. So, and that you're able to love them and the thing and whatever. So, of course, there is no such thing as ugly either. Everything is about references. So one person finds something ugly, someone else finds it beautiful.
Yes, I know that. So I feel it's ugly.
What's wrong with ugly?
It's just ugly. Just don't like it.
Ugly.
I don't know, makes me feel kind of, I know it's no good feeling. It's kind of not good feeling.
All right, very good. So I want you to feel that feeling right now about something. Think of something that you've seen recently that's ugly and notice that feeling. Have you got it?
Yes, I don't know. It's kind of hard right now.
Okay, so something that you've seen recently that's ugly, I want you to imagine it's yours. Can you do that? And it doesn't matter what it is, and you don't have to tell us what it is. It doesn't matter, as long as you've got it in your mind.
Yeah, it's really ugly. I will never do that. I will never put this stuff on me.
Good. Okay, so now it is yours, and I want you to look at this thing in your mind and notice the ugly and have that feeling of allowing it. Just allow it to be there. Can you do that?
Yes, it's there.
Good, very good. And so how do you feel as you allow this ugly to be there?
Actually good, relax and easy, free.
Yeah, good job. So that's what you're aiming for. So now let's look at the references. How do you know something's ugly? Or how do you know ugly is not good? Where in your childhood did you learn about something being ugly?
I work on this. My mother always was, judging our friends, usually boys. Oh, he's like this, he's ugly, he's this, he has that, he has, whatever on the face. Or she didn't like the face.
Perfect. So you learned it automatically. It's not your choice. It's something that you just absorbed because you were experiencing it from your mother. And we all, we're all trying to be like those who raise us.
But I didn't like this. This was like, I didn't feel comfortable when she was doing this, and
Yes.
I was ashamed. I don't know.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing is that, it's a comedy thing, a funny thing that people go, oh, I'm just like my mother. I'm never going to be like my mother or my father.
I did that before.
Like my mother or my father, right? And this is why, because it's not your conscious mind. You're not making that conscious choice. So when you were growing up with your mother, you hated that, you didn't like it, whatever, but in your subconscious doesn't care whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Your subconscious is only focused on survival. Yeah. And as far as your subconscious is concerned, one of the best ways to survive is to be like whoever's supposedly protecting you, raising you, whatever, right? So then we just change it. You change your mum to change her childhood, because the reason she was judging people has nothing to do with the people. It has everything to do with her childhood and her progress.
I have no idea about her childhood. I change whatever I change. I don't know.
Fantastic. So now I want you to imagine her praising everyone or saying that, I love all people and all things. There's no such thing as ugly. Everyone's got their own taste. There's no such thing as ugly, that kind of thing. Can you imagine that?
Yes, actually, I changed this memory like she's talking to him. I introduced him to my mom and my dad, and they were talking, and she even invited his parents, something like this.
Good.
So like all that story. So I don't know, this came back to me.
That's okay. So now when you think of your mum, what's there? What's she doing and saying, not just in that memory, but in general? How does she feel about ugly?
She always complained. She always was saying something.
So make it that she never complains. She always praises.
Oh.
She always appreciates. She does the allowing exercise.
I don't know. Kind of is weird.
Of course. So there's something to work on. So because you know that there's going to be something back there for her. I mean, in reality, whether you know it or not, of course, there was reason that she was like that. So you can create new childhood memories for her, where she grew up using the superpower and the allowing exercise, and she had the most magnificent childhood. Everybody loved her, and she was so confident in herself and so sure of herself that nothing anyone else was doing mattered.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then as she grows up, that's the kind of person she becomes, and that's how she is around you. Make sense?
Yes. That's good.
Good job, Tina. Very, very good. You're very welcome, sweetheart. Excellent. And Katrina. Hi, Katrina.
Hi, Odille.
Mm.
Yes, referring back to the friends, no response.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I worked on that and there was a lot of work to be done on that. But today I've ended up with like, what's the problem? So it was, what I haven't dealt with is, so I'll just read what I've written here. I needed her, but she does not need me.
Nice.
Okay, so because I enjoy her company and I felt good around her, so I need that from her or something. And then, so there was a memory, I really needed my mother, but
Yeah.
she did not need me and she left me in total distress, which actually was the runner of, well, it was part of this telephone, whatever, saga.
Yes.
Yeah, so how can I change the I no longer need you, but I can't get the opposite to, I don't know, what am I looking for, Odille?
Very good. So with your mum, let's when we say you needed her, but she didn't need you. How do you know that? What comes to mind when you think of that?
Well, I'm just trying to make this sense about needing friends. I have no sisters, so I need the friends. And I needed her. I was very, very upset. And she was, you know, what's wrong with you? And I couldn't tell her. I just was so upset and I don't know what about. And she said, look, dinner has to be made, something, just get on with it. You know, it was just, she left me.
Right.
But I wanted her to stay and comfort me.
Yes. Have you changed it?
Yes, well, I sort of say, yes, she stayed and she comforted me, but I think it's still there.
All right, very good. So let's do that. So when you think of that memory right now, any negative emotions left?
No.
Okay, very good. So so we want a stepping stone memory where you're upset and your mum stays with you. She comforts you, she hugs you, and she tells you that she says, sweetheart, you are the most important thing in my world. And you say to her, oh, but what about dinner? And she goes, forget about dinner. You are the most important thing in the world. Okay. Someone else can make dinner or we'll order out or whatever, but I am, you're my priority. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's the stepping stone. So you practice that 3 times. And then the final memory is that you are doing something, you're playing, you're whatever, and your mum comes to you and says, hey, how you doing? I just wanted to check in with you. How's my favorite girl today? Gives you a hug and says, so, can we do something together? I miss spending time with you, something like that, where she is coming to you. All right. And you're going, well, can you give me 15 minutes because I want to finish this? Or can we do it later, Mum? And she goes, okay, sweetheart, it's just I miss you. Or something like that, where you are busy doing something. Perhaps you're playing with your friends, right? Or whatever. And she is coming to you and wanting your time, wanting to spend time with you. How does that sound?
That sounds fantastic, but I don't know whether that will sort out.
Well, we're not finished yet. So that's just that piece, right? So now what I want you to do is I want you to think of that friend and the fact that you need her and she doesn't need you. You got that?
Yeah.
Good job. And now feel that feeling of how does that feel? Knowing that you need her and she doesn't need you. What's that feeling there?
I don't know, but it's
That's okay. You don't have to label it. Just you clearly got it. All right. So where in your body do you feel that feeling? What kind of sensation or whereabouts?
it's just a very strong, what the word I'm looking for, but it's just
Where in your body is it?
a disappointment. It's everywhere.
Everywhere. Very good. Okay, so you can feel that sensation of everywhere. Now I want you to put your hand on your leg. Put your hand on your leg and feel the feeling of your hand on your leg. And you can even pat your leg, pat it with your hand. Okay, and feel that feeling of your hand on your leg. Feel the feeling, feel how your leg feels with your hand there, and feel how your hand feels on your leg. You got that? So that sensation, very, very good. Now, this disappointment feeling that's all the way through your body, that's also a sensation, right? So we're not going to give any meaning to it. It's just a sensation. However it feels, it's just a sensation like your hand on your leg. And we don't need to stop it. We don't need to change it. Just allow that feeling, that sensation to be there. Can you do that?
Yes.
Good job, Katrina. Very, very good, sweetheart. And what happens as you allow it?
Well, she seems to settle. The panic has gone.
Good. Very good. Very, very good. And so as you allow that sensation, are you able to step back from the sensation and have it in front of you, that feeling of disappointment?
Okay.
Good, good. And now as you become aware of that sensation, imagine it as an entity. And can you imagine what that entity is feeling or what it needs?
I can't connect to this word entity. Can you use another word?
Sure. This thing. So it's a thing. It could be a character, it could be a blob, it could be a mist. It's just a thing, but it's separate from you.
Well, I don't know. I'm looking at a hedge out through the window.
Okay.
And but I can't see anything over there. I see the leaves. I see reality. I don't see.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So that's okay. So you don't need to see it. But if it was a character, a person, an animal, a blob, anything, can you imagine what it would be feeling, what it would be feeling, or what it needs? And if not, that's okay.
Yeah, it probably needs, as always, a love and a hug.
Good. Can you do that? Can you imagine giving it a hug and some love?
Okay. Yeah.
Do that? Good job. Very good. What happens as you do that? What happens inside you?
Well, I'm saying yes to please you because I have to hurry up.
There's no hurrying. There's no hurrying. Remember that this is helping others as well who are following along with it, using, aiming at their own stuff, their own blob or whatever, their own feelings, right? And if you can't do it, that's okay too.
It feels alien to me, but that, given her, give her love and a hug. I don't know whether that'll sort it.
Okay, good. So what do you think would sort it?
That's the annoying, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's do this. I want you to imagine yourself as a child. And I want you to give, so can you do that first of all? Any age?
You mean from 1 to 5 or 1 to 11 or what age?
Any age, whatever age comes up for you. So as you think of yourself as a child, whatever age is there, it doesn't really matter. First thing that comes. You got
Okay,
that?
the first day I went to, well, that wasn't actually a good time. Well, it wasn't. Okay, the first day I went to school, primary school. Yeah, my first, about 4 or 5.
First time at primary school. Perfect. What happened?
I didn't want to go.
Yep. And what was making you not want to go? Why didn't you want to go?
I don't know, because I was just scared and I was anxious and everything, and but I was dragged there. And then the teacher, I remember the teacher, and she had do you remember opal fruits? Those sweets, opal. Well, there's a packet of sweets, and my favorite was a red one. And when we walked into the classroom, I'm in tears, but the teacher has this red sweet.
Yes.
And she immediately says, Katrina, would you like this sweet? And I'm totally into the sweet, then Mummy goes, and I forget about Mummy, as in the teacher is lovely, and I get another sweet, and it's all okay.
Right.
So I don't know what that's got to do with it.
Okay, very good. All right, so let's go back. Let's change that, because that needs changing. Where you don't want to go to school, you're worried, you're frightened, whatever, and your mum says, but I want to go with you. I'm coming with you. And parents are allowed to if they want to. And so she stays with you. And this is what I threatened my son. I said, I want to go to school. Can I come with you? All right. So your mum stays with you. She's not going anywhere. And the teacher gives you each a sweet. And then you sit, and your mum stays with you for that first day of school until you are, and during the course of that day, you make friends and everything. And your mum is like, can we spend some time together? And you're like, oh, can we do it later because my friend and this, that, and the other. And you're absorbed the way children do. You're absorbed in the activities, the teacher, the friends. You're making new friends and all of that. Can you imagine that? That's the stepping stone.
But she stays with me.
Yes.
Well, I'm too upset with her. I'm still there, as in she's not comforting me to there. So she has me into this forensic state.
Okay.
And
So
teacher sorts me out. So I don't really like Mother now.
Okay. So first we need another stepping stone there. First stepping stone is you're at home. You say, I don't want to go to school. And your mum says, okay, you don't have to go. All right, so that's the first stepping stone, very important. And practice that 3 times and make it feel good. All right, then the second stepping stone is you go together. So you're not upset anymore. Your mum says, now, are you ready to go to school? And you go, yes. Will you come with me, maybe? Or she says, I'm coming with you, whatever feels best. And she comes with you, and she spends the day there, and you both go home together. All right. And she, during that day, is completely and fully focused on you. All right. That's the second stepping stone. And then the final memory is that you can't wait to get to school. It's so exciting. And perhaps you have friends, you've already made friends who go to that school, so you all go together. How does that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is very important to do all of that before you then come back to the friend, because it does make sense. If you were in that situation where you were frightened, you didn't want to go, then the teacher gave you a sweet and that helped, and that you were coming from a place of disempowerment and fear. If you turn up at school confident, that's one of the references and the foundations of feeling confident in adult life. Make sense?
Yes, yes.
So that's your final memory. Practice that, and then once you've done that, then come back to the friend and notice what's there, and do the process again if necessary to make those changes.
Wow. Yeah.
You all right?
Well, I feel as if I've been run over by a bulldozer.
Yes, I know that feeling well. I know that feeling well, but it's a good feeling. And obviously take it easy on yourself as well. Excuse me, because remember that what we're doing here is not just imagination. Imagination is the brain making those neural connections. So you are physically changing your brain. So extra water, extra rest, extra nutrition, and especially kindness and compassion to yourself.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Good job, Katrina. I am so proud of you, and I know there's something in the comments as well. I know that you're helping so many people by sharing this. All of you who share, Tina, Sue, all of you. So thank you, sweet.
Very
Good.
good.
I'm going to add a couple of quick ones because Ilya always shows up with brilliance in the moment. I know someone else who would love to go to primary school with Katrina. Charmaine as a cute little pony. And the other thing that I wanted to add in there too is if Katrina, you're still finding problems or it's still sticking, you may want to back it up and do a do justice letter. You could do a do justice letter just about that memory. So if there's still emotion there, that little you needs to get out regarding what happened that day, it's perfectly acceptable, and I would recommend it as another way of resolving that, getting it unstuck, to do that do justice letter.
Okay. Thank you, Steve.
Very good, Katrina. Well done, sweetheart. Okay, and Ildiko. Hey, how are you today?
Hi, thank you. I'm good. It's been crazy here. In the last couple of weeks, I started working again. So, yeah, holidays are gone, and the kids were on holidays. It was good for them. It was pretty busy, and I also fell while I was doing off ice training, and I thought that I strained my my ankle, but then it turns out I didn't. It's just the muscles that they got hurt a bit. So good news, it's nothing major. So yeah, I'm good.
So take care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't really go anywhere or did anything for that matter. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been working on myself a bit lately. I wrote a lot of stuff in my journal, and I figured it out that I'm keeping myself as a child because that's easy. So I let everyone else make the decisions for me, even, banal ones like what are we gonna watch tonight. I just let everyone else choose whatever, and I'm not really making any decisions for myself. So
Nice.
I'm basically a pushover or something, but that makes my life really easy because I can just, kind of ride the waves, and I don't have to think about it or worry about anything really, which is weird because I do worry about a lot of stuff, but this is just somehow, this is a way for me to make it very easy for me. So I was figuring that out. So that's already great.
Very good. And so did you find the references, or were you able to use the allowing technique for it?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So I'm not really sure how to do this because it feels like to me that like you should be able to find some so that you should use your fantasy, but I really don't know that. It's like I'm drawing a total blank. It's like, yeah, I know that I'm I'm doing this, but why precisely? It's probably because, yeah, my parents' were really strict and they were, trying to tell my parents what to do and how to do their lives. But I can't really remember that my parents did that to me. So I don't
Oh,
know why.
and maybe it's because they didn't.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
I had a lot of freedom, so I don't know.
right. And so, what memories come to mind when you think of the lots of freedom, having lots of freedom? What comes into your head? What thoughts? What memories? Or what feelings?
Well, it's mostly that I remember that anytime I brought any friends home, they were all amazed how easygoing my parents were. So they were not really, strict or anything, and they were very open and they could talk to anyone, and it was just, yeah, very also that the whole feeling of our family was very open. We talked about everything, we laughed a lot. So, and when somebody came in, then they were like, wow, my family is really not like that, how do you guys do that? And we were like, well, we just do it this way. But I don't know. Yeah.
So now let me ask you, what's your worst memory from childhood?
My worst memory.
And the first thing that comes to mind, even if it doesn't seem to be connected.
Okay, well, I remember once, I can't remember how old I was, maybe 10 or something. We were on holidays
Mhm.
at Lake Balaton. It's a very nice place, and I was kind of walking with another little girl like me, and we went into a garden of total strangers, and we just made kind of friends with them because why not? So I totally didn't have yeah the worry that it might be bad, or you would meet with someone who is not nice. I don't know. And they were really nice people, so they were like a grandma and a grandpa. But after that, what I got from my parents, yeah, so that's when I got a clap as well, and they were like shouting their heads off that, yeah,
There it
how
is.
can you do that, that's so very irresponsible and everything.
There it
It's
is.
really,
Spot
really
on.
bad. Yeah.
That's perfect. Steve's applauding.
Yeah, well, I don't know why yet, but you will
Okay.
tell me.
Yes, because when it's, I know I have that as well. When it's me, when it's my stuff, Steve goes, "There, can you see it?" And I'm like, "No, I can't see it." All right, so let's look at it. So it makes perfect sense, Ildiko. So well done.
Okay.
So what happened in that moment was you were in a kind of false sense of security. You
Yeah,
were
I was
allowed, your parents
oblivious.
were always relaxed. I somebody talked about this. Apparently there's a video of Bambi in the forest. It's called Bambi and Godzilla. And Bambi is happily skipping through the forest, and then out of nowhere, suddenly Godzilla's foot squashes Bambi. Okay.
Okay,
This
that's
is,
bad.
you were like enjoying it. You were lulled into that sense of security. You had no clue that there was anything coming. You and this little girl, you had a lovely time. So everything seemed fine. Your
Yeah.
subconscious thought everything was okay. You weren't in any danger. And then completely unexpectedly, and especially because your parents were usually so laid back, it was an
Yeah.
extra shock. So you've got extra stress chemicals in your system and an extra strong imprint in your head that goes, I must never experience this again. I could die,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the I could die has nothing to do with what your parents said necessarily, but the fact that your parents were so, their reaction was so extreme,
Yeah.
especially if they hit you, and that's huge. And so your subconscious made the decision in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make decisions. I have to let
Yeah.
other people decide. It's too dangerous for me to make any kind of decision. But
Yeah.
you're also always worrying because you don't have control. And so
Yeah.
you've got that background fear, despite the fact that you aren't making decisions. So do you see the link there now?
Yeah, I think so. Can it be also linked to I have this constant feeling also that it's something is never enough. So like that there is always this dissatisfaction, that there is no amount of money, for instance, that I would be happy with. It would always feel that, yeah, okay, that's a salary, but it's not enough because I don't even know what I want to do with it. But it doesn't give any sense of completion. Like at home, I also do a lot of stuff, and then I feel like, oh, well, I did a lot of stuff, but there is still a lot of stuff to do. So I don't feel like I could relax. And it just drives me nuts. I mean, why can't you just relax, woman?
All right. So that's
It's easier.
possible. So that hyper alertness, that hyper vigilance, that may be part of it. And then let me also ask you, how affectionate were your parents to you?
Yeah, very. They are, yeah, really nice people. So
And
there were just a couple of times when we had like fights, but it went all very, yeah,
so I would change
relaxed.
the fights that you had, obviously
Mhm.
change those. And so change that that memory of where you went to the with the little girl. So here's what I suggest is a stepping stone where you went along with the little girl and you went and you had a nice time, you came back and your parents said to you very kindly, very nicely, okay, sweetheart, we don't, we want to make sure you're safe. So in future, make sure you let us know, so they explain it
Yeah.
to you.
Mhm.
They're kind and they're grateful that you're okay. They hug you and they go, we're very glad that you're all right, that kind of thing. Stepping
Yeah.
stone. Sometimes, then the final memory is that you say to that little girl, oh, we can't go there. We have to let my parents know.
Yeah.
And you go and you tell your parents, and your parents say, well, we'll come with you. And so you still have a nice time. You still go with those people, but you were the one who took responsibility, who made that decision. And your parents then praise you and say, well done, Ildiko. Your judgment is so good. We're so proud of you. You always know what to do. You've always got that knowledge and that instinct. How does that
Great.
feel?
That sounds really, really great. Yeah.
Good,
Okay.
good. Very good. So that's the final memory that you've got there. Good job, Ildiko. I'm very proud of you. And thank
Thank you.
you for sharing as well. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. So Steve, are we ready to go into, oh, Lisa, we haven't done Lisa. Hi, Lisa. It's because you're normally near the beginning.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, just feel good Friday. I love everybody. That's all.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Blessings. Yeah,
Steve.
I'm good.
Very good. Thank you. All right. So the targeting, are we ready to go into that? So if you send me the list, thank you. All right, everybody, take a deep breath and either go into your superpower state. Either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer. And start to feel your heart opening, that expansion feeling in your chest as you focus and home in on the love and the appreciation. Allow that light, that energy to shine out from your heart. Very good. And now allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Very good. And now allow that light or energy to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each cell just for existing. Good job. And now allow that light or energy to fill your subject. Love that subject for everything that you love about them and appreciate about them. And then imagine they don't want to be with you, or they don't have the qualities that you love and admire, and keep them filled with that light, that energy anyway. Very good. And now let's go to Lisa. fill Lisa with that light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Lisa just for existing. Very good. And now to Ildiko. Fill Ildiko with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Ildiko just for existing. Good job. And now to Tina. Love Tina just for existing. Imagine filling her with that light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Tina just for existing. And now allow that light, that energy to overflow from Tina and fill her boss at work. Love her boss just for existing. And then imagine her boss won't give her a raise, and keep that boss filled with that light, that energy anyway, whether she gives her a raise or not. Even if she never gets a raise, love that. Shining that light into any darkness, loving it all exactly as it is. Very, very good. And now to Sue. Fill Sue with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Sue just for existing. And love the part of Sue that doesn't have the courage or self-confidence, whether she becomes confident and gains courage or not, shining that light into any darkness, loving that part of Sue. Loving all of Sue just as she is without needing her to change. Very, very good. And now to Katrina. Fill Katrina with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Katrina just for existing. Good job. Very good. And now to all those who are off camera today, all those who are on the call and off camera, and everyone who's watching the recording. Love each one, filling each one with that light, that energy, loving each one just for existing no matter what, exactly as they are. Very, very good. And yourself later today and over the weekend, whatever you'll be doing, feeling, experiencing, love that version of you exactly as you are, and no matter what happens, shining the light into any darkness, loving it all. Good job. And surge. Very good. And surge again. Good job. Very good. And you can open your eyes if you haven't closed. So well done, everyone. And we will be creating the next one, the link for next week. So we'll be back on Monday, same time, same place, and you'll get an email that goes out to everyone once the recording is done and the new event link has been set up. And have a fabulous weekend, all of you. Lots of love to all of you. Bye.